When I seems lost, thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain. Why do I suffer so much? I would love to feel your touch. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Save me before I pass out. Save me before I pass out. Before I pass out.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix and welcome to the Moose Racing League Season 10 opener. We are here in Tier 5 in sunny Brazil for what promises to be a gorgeous Grand Prix. A new set of drivers have entered Tier 5 and now they have to cope with one of the greatest tracks F1 has ever produced. A beautiful 2.6 mile circuit, sweeping corners, huge elevation changes, and of course a very possible overtaking zone. Moves into 1 and 4 are expected, though moves into the final corners are also quite probable around here, just due to the nature of the track, the undulating corners, the 15 turns that there are, though one of them really shouldn't be a turn at this point, and yeah, it just promises to be a great Grand Prix. And to join us here in Tier 5, it's me. I'm still here doing it. My name is Dan, and joining me in the booth today is Dreams. It's a new guy.
Hello, everyone.
He's got a
Hey.
McLaren jersey on. I don't know why. Why?
I'm on the McLaren team. I had to show out.
That's fair enough. That's fair
wish
enough.
I-
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Wish I could get live.
Well, we do have a very, very long day of racing ahead. We've got 5 other tiers after this one, and one that is still currently ongoing. Tier 6 has been a brilliant race so far, but now we are ready to go for qualifying for this for Tier 5's race. It promises to be a hectic thing. 20 new drivers, most of them you may not be familiar with, because there are a hell of a lot of rookies on this grid. I'm just looking at the list, I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to figure out how many of them are rookies. That is a lot. Alright, you know what? Chat, you want to have a look at the race? I think you do want to have a look at the race. I also need to set it up so your camera doesn't keep disappearing. Because that is a problem. Why does that keep happening? Either way, let's get you on the game. Here we are.
Yeah.
We're going. And our cameras have not shown up. Oh, I'm so good at this thing. I'm so good at this hole. You're upside down. No, it's fine. I've sorted you. I think. Yeah, I'm literally editing this in real time. Chat, you don't see a thing. There you go. Well, there we go. Now we're sorted. Right, qualifying. First round of the season. OTC, you have a lot of experience commentating F1 in different leagues ahead of this one. What sort of strategies are you looking at in terms of qualifying? And are any of these names at all familiar to you?
Just a few of them. I'm still pretty new in MRL, but something I like to do, especially with the track where you can expect a lot of DNFs and a lot of battling. I usually only do 2 qualifying runs so I can save that extra set of softs, but qualifying is always going to be super tight at such a small track, so sometimes the max amount of runs will always help you out.
We'll see if people do that. Currently, Bouncy is the first driver on track. Currently in the Alpine team, raced for AlphaTauri last season for Tier 5. And didn't have necessarily the most successful campaign. That's why they're still here. They will be the first one to set a representative lap time as long as they do not manage to, well, invalidate this final corner as they now wrap their way around to turn 13. Keep the wheels off the grass. Clean exit. A little bit shaky there on the curb. Now the run up to the line. And of course there are other very notable drivers here. Nicky G famously was dominant at points in qualifying last season. Now races for Aston Martin, not the Williams lineup. And other drivers that have replaced him on that lineup are the Dutch Raven, who is making their Williams debut here today. Across the line comes Terms now. They'll be the next one to set a flying lap. How will they do? They'll go P2. About 1.5 seconds off the pace of Bouncy, though Dutch Raven will match them within the thousandth, and Nicky G will slot in on those medium tyres in P3. Mediums is a choice.
Yeah. I used to run the mediums, but I kind of like to save them as the race tire in the end. And they're good for a banker lap, just to get familiar with the track.
Coming across the line now is the other Williams driver, or was supposed to be the other Williams driver of Sosa. They have actually boxed, so their lap will not be completed. And instead it will be Ghost Rider who will set the next representative lap time. They will go and start their lap because they invalidated the last one. I also forgot to put lap data on. That's useful. Here's Toast in the Mercedes. Another driver from Tier 5 last season. And was not a bad driver by any stretch of the imagination either. Was constantly competitive at the top end. Just didn't seem to have the luck and fortune that others seem to have. Especially GoldenDrift, who won the championship for Red Bull basically single-handedly. Both in constructors and drivers. Looked dominant throughout as Jim manages to put that Alfa Romeo in P3. And Toast will do one better and take P3 off of them. Great job from them.
Wish I was able to actually get in the lobby.
Oh, you still unable? Oof.
Yeah, I just keep getting error codes every time, and I've restarted my Xbox like 3 times.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. Well, either way, you can talk to me a little bit about the track Brazil. There are a lot of danger points on the track that are difficult to work their way around. In particular, turn 1, 2, and 3. You can often lose the rear end through there. Is there a particular strategy you like to employ when you're going around those to try and avoid having those rear end moments, or?
For shifting is always going to help you with stability in the rear end. But no, it's a really tricky part because you always there's a straight after it, so you want to be on the throttle as soon as possible, and it's kind of they're tough angles to be able to get a good run through. So just throttle modulation and short shifting, I think, is the only way you really can get through those cleanly without any loss of traction.
Gotcha. Benzo Slice goes up to P5, representing Alpine again this season. Was one of the Alpine Tier 5s from last time around. As Bouncy actually sets another flying lap on that set of sauce, doesn't improve their time. It's odd to see retentions, especially when there was a shift in TPs for Alpine. Notably, the then Alpine TP is now left, and Lakota has jumped in as a first-time TP and has tried to keep Tier 5 remotely similar, as Jake Glazer, another rookie to the league, has set a 109.4 to put on P5. A decent lap, 4/10 off of pole though, and that might start coming back to bite people as they look to try and get in front of Bouncy and Dutch Raven, who've currently got the front row locked out to themselves. Looking down the grid, a couple of other drivers, notably Bouncy's ex-teammate Vince, who was on AlphaTauri and had good pace last season, just couldn't seem to find the form in the actual race itself, is now looking to try and put that car near the front of the grid, representing McLaren this time around, one of your boys. Let's see how well he does, as Tolby is currently the slowest car on the grid. Saw his beautiful mug in the stream for the draft. And Vince will set a 109.7. That's only good enough for P10 currently. 7/10, or 3/4 of a second, represent the top 10 currently. It is a close qualifying. You need to find those couple of tenths in every corner.
Yeah.
Looking down, here's a Marmo. It's not had the best middle sector. Is a bit off the pace. Puts themselves P13 with a 110.3. It's not the best lap we've seen out of them, and Zoso will look to try and beat that 109.3, and that puts Williams now on both the front 2 rows of the grid. A great job from them. It's exactly what they were looking for.
I would expect it to be a little closer here in Brazil. There's only, like, as you said, 12 or 13 real corners. Yeah, no, I think it'll get a lot closer as people get more familiar and, just glued in with the track.
Absolutely. JT actually puts it on the front row now, taking Dutch Raven down to the second row, who's up there, only 700ths off the pace of Bouncy, as Dutch Raven has had an incident at turn 1 with Cobb K. Now, Cobb K is on an outlap, reportedly. And something has happened, and we're not sure what. That is an odd one. I've never seen that, especially for someone on an outlap. Still, to be on the track and have caused a DNF.
How would that even happen?
I don't know. It's a turn 2. It's not even a turn 1.
Let me see if I can just...
Yeah, can we get an instant replay on that? Are you standing up? Oh, now we're serious.
I was just trying to get my... I'm trying to do everything to reset something so I can get in this lobby.
I just don't think it's happening for you.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm just going to have to watch the stream and be like 8 seconds behind.
That's fine. Well, you'll have to deal with just listening a voice comm for once. Nathan W's now coming through. Had some good pace in the rookie races. He's put themselves into P7. Solid performance there. It's now a quarter of a second for the top 7. It's 4/10 to P12. P13.
That is what... Yeah, that's more like what I was thinking would happen. I mean, the top 3 were separated by 75 hundredths until I don't know what happened at turn 2 there, but
yeah,
I would love to see that.
By the way, looking for people on a lap, Nicky G is currently cooking. This is, of course, one of the more dominant pole sitters for Williams last season. Him and MRK, who is now in tier 4, I believe, or maybe reserving, I'm not sure, have been 2 of the best qualifiers in tier 5. They have that one lap pace, but they never found the look of the draw when it came to the actual race itself. Can Nicky find a way to hook this lap up? They're sat behind a slow-moving Haas, but they have purple first, purple middle, and are up by 3/10 currently on Bouncy as they come through the final straight, round the final corner, technically, using the toe of the Haas as they pull out now onto the main straight. Can they improve? They can. It's the first 108, and it's a 108.3. 6/10 clear at the front of the field.
I mean, that hash just gave him the best slipstream I've ever seen, non-coordinated by teammates.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6/10.
Yeah, there's no...
He might not have to go out again.
No, I think he's got pole. That's Nicky G pace, by the way. That's what we expect to see out of him. That's a pace. That's a lap I can't even do, I'll be honest with you. 108.3 is rapid. But
that's like a good lap. That's a good lap in tier 3.
That's a tier 2 quality lap. That's... Oh, Benzo's had a moment at the final corner there. He was on his flying lap. Has just had an oversteer moment. And that might cost them crucial time. They're actually going to box. They're pulling out of the lap. Didn't want to continue it.
That's definitely a tier 3 quality lap. That's crazy.
That is ridiculous, yeah. Meanwhile, Tolby on his in lap.
Yeah. That's a...
You're still trying to fathom it.
He might as well ego retire.
Honestly, pull a Seb, just do 1 lap and done. Like
1 lap and done. All he needs. Save 2 sets of softs.
Well, we're currently watching Vince. Vince, of course, representing McLaren now, is currently down in P16. Not the best qualifying so far for them, but they are on a flying lap and they are about a 10th up in the first sector. So there's a yellow flag on the main straight for a slow-moving Alpine. And that would be Bouncy, who I think, I don't want to say has ran out of fuel, because the track has gone green again, but may have had to get off the throttle there. Anyway, here comes Vince. He's up by a quarter of a second now. That'll be enough to put him near the top 10. But we'll need to find some time on the final corner.
Yeah, I was wondering if that... I think he might be doing 2 outlaps, and that's why he's just kind of trundling along. But
potentially.
To have yellow flags.
Vince pulls up to P13 within a second now of the time to Nicky G, but again, it is a second to Nicky G. So, literally 100th of a second would have put them P11. That's the difference there between the back end of the top 10 and sitting in the middle of the top 10. It's wild.
The gap from Nicky to Bouncy is the same gap as from Bouncy to Ghost Rider. So that's just how dominant that lap was compared to the field.
That's a Verstappen-esque lap, is what that is.
Yeah.
Midnight doing a second warm-up lap, it appears. Or at least that's what it looks like to me. Terms, however, is on a good lap. Up by 3/10 in the middle sector. Will they be able to translate that through the final corner? It looked a little slow, but we'll see now if they can finish.
Up into the top 10.
Potentially.
Well, not top 10, but
It could
depends on how
do.
this final
Never know.
sector goes.
It's a very
Yeah,
good one. 19.4. 4/10 improvement. Actually only moved them up a single position.
That's
It'll
how
still
tight
be
that is, because
16.
If he found half a tenth, it could have been P12.
It could have been P10 if he found a 10th. It's ridiculous.
So,
Turning around the final corner now is a Red Bull. That is Muckmage, who has invalidated his lap time and thus is not worth watching. Midnight is on a flying lap, however. Of course, Midnight, one of the more established names in MRL history. Has been around for years, teaming this season with another legend in Jim Just Raged. And both are drivers that, whilst they may not necessarily always be on the pace, you can never discount the experience they have on track. Their racecraft is second to none. They try and they give it their all every single weekend, and they'll always be present in a battle if there is one. And right now, Midnight is cooking up a second improvement, at least in the middle sector. Has run a bit wide through that final corner, shaky through there. Unless they had a very bad final corner beforehand, this might be a close one to see if they'll improve. Across the line they come now.
Yeah, they might not get another run at the end too. This might be their last run.
It's only P19 from Midnight. 2 minute 51 on the clock.
Yeah, that final corner cost him a lot. He lost over a tenth and a half there, almost 2.5 tenths. Which would have put him up there at the top.
Meanwhile, here's Muckmage, who has been on a lap quietly. The Red Bull driver looking to improve to try and get into that top half, and they do. The first other driver outside of Nicky G to break into the 108s, and it's enough to put them P2 currently.
Yeah,
Great lap.
Good. Great lap from him. Still nowhere. I don't know why Nicky's going out again. I think he's just trying to show he's better. Oh my god, I got in the lobby.
You got in?
Yes.
I'm going to have a Coke-on. Let's go! Meanwhile, Great Ace currently on a lap. He's representing Ferrari, one of the drivers who was picked later in the draft. I think it was the last overall pick for Tier 5, but is not at all deserving of that moniker. Is one of the better drivers, I'd argue, in terms of pure race pace, and just hasn't had a chance to show it yet. Cars now coming across the line. It's a McLaren of Tolby to start their flying lap. Behind them, the Mercedes of Toast will start their flying lap. As, of course, the other one of Cobb K cannot. And Midnight has pulled into the box. He's done for the session. He will not be going back out.
I'm just going to keep my eye on Nicky.
Yeah. You
Just
tell
this
me
whole
if he's
time.
improving.
I'll tell you if he's improving, and then we might.
Toast has
just watch
backed
the
out
final lap.
of his flyer.
Time
Toast
to
was...
get around though.
Yeah. Great Ace is going on to another lap as well. Other cars are crossing the line now. The Haas boys were going side by side. I don't know if that's a good idea. Marmo and Nathan going to be holding each other up. The other Williams of Zoso starts their final flying lap as Great Ace starts theirs. Across the line comes an Aston Martin. I believe that's Nicky. Turn 2.
He just is crossing the line.
Oh no, that's JT, sorry.
Yeah.
JT is arguably the more dangerous one to watch, because right now he is the one that could be on the front row alongside him. And he's up by a 10th in the first sector. Across the line now comes the final remaining Williams. It'll be, so that's an Alpine of Benzo. No improvement from Benzo. I can't tell who's who at this point. Across the line comes the Mercedes. That's Toast. Not enough. Here comes the McLaren now. Across the line of Tolby. Tolby does not improve. Into the pits comes Bouncy or Benzo, one of the two. They are not going to be completing in this session. It was Benzo. Across the line comes the AlphaTauri of Jake Laser. Starts their final flying lap. They're going to get it in.
Nicky's 800th up through the first sector.
Meanwhile, Nathan W's does not improve, and Marmo does not improve. Bad times for the Haas boys. They will not find pace. Neither will Zoso, only P11. Across the line now comes the Aston Martin of JT. It's only good enough for P4, and a 1,000th of a second improvement. Nicky G is up by a 10th.
By over a 10th. Yeah, I was just about to say that. He's on another great lap. I've watched this lap. It's just easily, he could be in Tier 2 with this lap, because this lap is nuts.
Point 2.
Tier 5.
Meanwhile, Bouncy now trying to secure a front row start for Alpine. Can he do it? He can. A great time as well. 108.6.
Yeah, that's a whole different. He's on tier 2 in this lobby. Toast goes right with him.
Yes, Toast. Great lap from him. Up to P3. Across the line now comes to McLaren. That was, I believe, Vince, not enough to improve P14. AlphaTauri's are the last two across the line. Jake Glazer, or two of the last two. Jake Glazer pits. Terms does not improve. It will be John Does Work who will box. Had invalidated their lap time. That is the final driver. And that means the grid is set for the Grand Prix. And it will be Nicky G from Bouncy on the front row of the grid.
Good lap from Nicky. I mean, that is like a good tier 2 lap. Like, that's probably top 15 in tier 2. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be around tier 3 pole. That's nuts. And Bouncy and Toast also, those are really fast laps for tier 5. I mean, it's just getting faster and faster. And the rest of the grid, I mean, from Mage to Toby, 9/10s, or who's in the, Midnight, also 9/10s.
It's crazy that a quarter of a second improvement from Nathan could have put them on the second row of the grid, but instead they will start P10. Let's run through the order one last time. Nicky G on pole from Bouncy, Toast P3, Mockmage alongside in P4. 4 different manufacturers on the front 4 slots, and they're all a slight shade of blue. Aston Martin round out their second driver, JT P5. Dutch Raven gets P6 despite the DNF early on in the session. John Does Work and Jake Laser on the 4th row of the grid, 7th and 8th for those two, as the Haas boys of Amamo and Nathan round out the top 10 on row 5. Row 6 now brings us to Williams, and Zoso with a lap there of a 109.3 is only just better than the 109.3 of Great Ace in P12. Jim P13, Vince P14 alongside him, Benzo down in P15, Terms alongside them in 16th, Ghost Rider and Tolby 17th and 18th, and then I believe it is Midnight P19 and Cobb K rounding out our grid after the weird situation that occurred heading into that one. I have no idea what on earth happened to him.
Yeah, I cannot wait to just see that clip and just wonder what went on. I've genuinely never seen an incident at turn 2 in qualifying. That's something I've never seen before.
Yeah. Well, either way, we have a race to get on with. This is going to be an interesting one. I have no idea how this race is going to go. I forgot to go on Do Not Disturb. Oh. Everyone was getting my pings. I'm sorry, chat. Please don't be upset at me. We do have 5 red lights in a matter of moments, and the tyre situation is very intriguing since we don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Any Kravitz in the chat?
Any Ted Kravitz? Any Karen Chandox in the chat? Either way, 5 red lights, and we are underway for the first race of Tier 5 this season, and it's an amazing start from Toast, who's already jumped Nicky G into P2, and Bouncy leads the way for Alpine. Yeah. JT's up to P4 now, getting ahead of Dutch Raven, who'd made a decent start. Jake Laser 6th, John 7th, Nathan 8th, Muck Major and Amamo 9th and 10th as the battles continue down the field. A Ferrari in the background there. Ghost Rider was on the grass, just about managing to keep it together.
Yeah, Mockmage had a terrible start, already down 7 positions, 8 positions from turn 1. Mage down 8 positions, not a great start for him at all. And battling in the midfield, of course, is crazy as always in Brazil. And Terms, a big dive on one of the Haas. It is a big split in tires between the front 6 on the grid and the rest of the field.
Yeah, Terms, great start, up 6 there from 16th, and now a move in the background. Mockmage gets a position back, potentially on Great Ace. This is the battle for P11 currently. They are battling side by side all the way around. Into turn 13, Mockmage has the advantage into the braking zone, gets the move done. Great job from them to get that position back, but up the front of the field, it is Bouncy who will lead us across the line. A great start for the Alpine, puts them in P1. Toast P2, Nicky P3, a poor
down
start.
The inside.
Oh, he's got the move. No, he hasn't.
He makes contact.
Nicky G off the track slightly. Now he's under pressure from Jake Laser, the rookie. Looking to make a move on the several. Yes, that's Zoso. Zoso's gone round to turn 1.
He was somehow on the grass on the outside of.
Oh, Nathan and
Turnaround.
Terms! There's yellow, there's debris everywhere, but somehow everyone is still going. This is a miracle. Meanwhile, here comes Vince now, going for a move around the outside of Nathan. Is going to get it done even on the hards, as Zoso's gone round again at turn number 4. That's unfortunate for them. Back at the front, though, there are battles all across the order. There's a span, Haas. It's a Marmo.
Yeah, cars, virtual safety car. There's another spin. Nikki G.
Nikki G?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Alright, we need a break.
Guys, please. Use the
Mage
VSC
has-
to calm down.
There's so much going on. Mage has wing damage. He's missing an end plate.
Yes, that was from, I believe, an incident with whoever it was that was in 10th at the time. I think it was Omamo. Nathan's also dropped 5 there. He's had an incident somewhere. I think that was with Terms. As Muckmage boxes. The man who...
We're all on medium tires. And then the hard runners have actually made up the most positions, which is weird.
Yeah. Qualified P4 did Muckmage. It's now P18, potentially 19, as Omamo comes through to take their pit stop as well. And Zoso rounds their way around the final corner. But it will be Bouncy who'll lead us away on this virtual safety car restart. And now everyone in the top 12 is up positions. And we're underway.
Everyone. Midnight is up 9 positions in 2 laps.
Welcome to Tier 5, mate. This is what it's like all the
There's
time.
already another yellow flag. We have
Yep.
a spin.
Let's touch
from
Raven.
Williams. Touch Raven.
And now he has to wait for everyone to come through before he can re-enter the track. Otherwise, it's an unsafe re-entry and it's a 5-second time penalty. Never want to do that. Meanwhile, behind them, Muckmage comfortably adrift now, unfortunately. It's still under pressure, though, because Zoso is threatening to attack.
I just... so much.
Yeah. Jake Laser, I want to point out, maybe the best rookie driver I've seen so far. Up to P4 currently, ahead of John Does Work. It's a 4-second gap, though, back to JT, who is in P3.
And he's on hard tires.
Yeah, he's comfortable. Let's get rid of the position changes now. Let's get onto tyres so everyone can see what we're working with. You can see there are only 4 runners in the top 10. No, never mind. We've got a yellow. It's a safety car. Full thing. And Vince has gone off a turn 2 into the wall.
Yeah, I'm guessing there has to be contact to go DNF over there. It could have just been a spin on traction too. I would love to be able to see that.
Potentially. I didn't catch it on stream. Normally... It's annoying when that happens, but either way, now the people at the back are taking their free pit stops because, yeah, of course you would. And I expect to see some of the front runners do as well, especially the hard runners, going onto a set of mediums now because, honestly, it sets you up for a great strategy towards the end of the race.
Yeah, medium to the end is going to be the fastest. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Jake Laser doesn't on these guys in the top 4, 5, and 6. Just... you know, that track position is going to be so crucial, especially with all the incidents we've already seen. But I could definitely see the Alpine going in, Muckmage going back onto some mediums. I mean, that brings him right back into the race, too.
As you twiddle your wheel, I twiddle my thumbs to see what exactly will be happening. Will anyone find their way into the pit? JT will. JT will box, and that will be the only driver to box. Wow.
On to another set of medium tires.
JT, I'm not sure about that decision.
I don't understand that one. I would like to be able to understand his thought process there.
I think the logic here is he goes 20 on these, or 22, and will end up on a pair of softs at the end. Like, that's got to be the logic. Unless there's rain coming that we haven't seen, we won't know until it hits. Do we have any Ted Kravitz in the chat? Have you got the chat open? I don't.
I do.
Chat.
There's a lot of comments about me. Thanks.
Guys, be nice. All right.
No. They're very nice.
Oh, lovely. Good.
I know them.
Oh,
I mean,
you know
Happy
them.
Like Pies is just loving on me in the chat.
Ah, that's fair. I love Pies. Pies is great. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah. but I wish we could have some weather in there, but also I just don't understand this JT move at all.
No. It's just sacrificed, what, 12 positions for nothing, basically. Freshly
Yeah, he's going to be on
used.
4-lap fresher tires, but we've had one of the laps has been under a safety car the whole time. One of them we had a VSC.
One of them was just mostly yellow flags, to be fair.
Yeah.
But what we do have at the front is a battle between P2 and P3 from qualifying. And again, just proving my point that the qualifying pace doesn't necessarily mean anything. Nicky G's down at P12 currently. After qualifying 3/10 clear at the front of the field. That's what happens in races like these. If you don't get a good start, if you don't have the race pace, you're going to fall through the field no matter how good your one lap is. Saw it to Zohan in Tier 4 last season. We've seen it to MRK and to Nicky G previously for Williams.
Yeah. Qualifying is like 10% of the battle.
Yeah.
That. I think the safety car is going to be a lot more fun. I think Nicky G I think he's going to be fun to watch, you know, driving back through the field, trying to get to where he belongs. JT, I'm surprised Mockmage did not pit back onto a set of mediums, honestly. Unless he still plans on doing that, I could definitely see him just waiting out the safety car and then pitting onto the freshest lap he could. But
potentially
he could stick out on the softs. There's tons of things you can do in 15th under a safety car.
Yeah.
You're not really losing out too much if you try something that might help you out in the long run.
Absolutely, especially with the amount of pacey drivers at the back of the field as well. People like Dutch Raven and Zoso and Marmo all was in that like battle for the top 10 in qualifying. Marmo getting P9 in qualifying. Like it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility that we see someone do something risky. But the way the field has stacked up here, we are not going to be going in, despite this being the second lap under safety car, which means we're going to do one more. We're going to do the full 3.
I would not be surprised if we see some people just sneak in. JT just clickbaited me.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw JT dipping it on the mini map.
Yeah.
And it will be. We will get one. It's so pitting off a set of 2-lap-old mediums. I wonder if they're going to go to another set or they're going to go to hards.
I could see him going on to hards, maybe doing. I'm not sure. I could definitely see hards just being he's going to go on to mediums.
Yeah, the yellow striped tyres will be the ones waiting for him in the box. And it's a slow exit for him. I'm not sure if he hit the wrong entry button, but that's definitely slowed him down. But yes, a rundown of the top 10 whilst we can. Bouncy leads away from Toast at P1, P2. Jake Laser up into P3. Great start from him. John does work as well. Not always a front runner, but always in contention. Is up to P4. That brings Great Ace up to P5. Jim Just Rage, B-Slice, Midnight, Terms, and Nathan round out your top 10. And I mentioned Jim and Midnight being the veteran drivers, finding their way to the front. They've done it again here. They are out of trouble and in contention for some good points today.
I mean, Midnight has just gone up 11 spots.
Jim's up 10.
I don't even think I've... Yeah.
I think it's 10.
Be in
yes, so...
19th. Yeah, 11.
Let's have a look how this one goes off the restart. Bouncy weaving to try and get some extra heat into those medium tyres, as we are going to wait to see when they will go. And they've gone already. The safety car is in the pit lane, and we are underway again here at Brazil. Who will be leading it to turn 1? It looks like Bouncy, but Toast is pushing with all the ERS they have to try and get back in front.
Yeah, I'm going to look further down the field, see if I can get some stuff down here. Midnight had a really good restart, was not able to jump the Alpine into turn 1, though. Kind of hard to do it into turn 1 because the start-finish line is kind of at the end of the straight. But turn 4, we could definitely see some moves getting on as we have
Toast
for the lead with Toast and Bouncy.
Great move up the inside, gets it done into turn 4, but Bouncy is all over the rear of the Mercedes, trying to get the move done now, up the hill, through 5 and 6. Can they find anything into the heavy braking point? No. We'll just sit behind instead. Meanwhile, Jake Laser's done a great job to sit behind as we have another spun car, and it's a Marmo once again.
And John does work.
Has he kept it alive? He has, just about.
Yep, off the track. But, you know, kept it alive. He's going to be back into the race, not too far down the pack.
Well, he was P4, so it's a huge drop for him. Meanwhile, Terms has now gone off and is in the grass comfortably off the track as Ghost Rider has received a 5-second time penalty for...
Oh, and Toby spun too.
Oh, no, not Toby! No! Not Toby! Either way, Terms has spun, Toby's gone off, JT's got the fastest lap all of a sudden in P10, which is always great to see. And
Yeah, him and Nicky G are working together through this field right now.
yeah, here comes the potential move here. JT on Nathan is dumping ERS. You can see it on the wheel. Now goes to the inside, looks for the move, will squeeze the Haas on the outside, and Nathan has to back out and give room. And it's a great job from the Aston Martin up to P9. But at the front, Bouncy has retaken the lead.
I think these guys need to work together and run away while they can on the medium tires while they're still better than Jake the Lasers and Gray Aces tires. And then they got Nicky G and JT dripping right behind, chasing down the top.
Meanwhile, Alfa Romeo 5-6 after a not necessarily all too positive qualifying from them at P19, P16. This is a great recovery. Same for Benzo, who's P15 on the grid, is up to P7. He's having a good little race, but now has two absolutely rapid Aston Martins sat behind them. And JT seems to be the faster of the two. Has the run on his teammate out the final corner. DRS enabled. Jake sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:12.5 and is just matched by JT, if you're wondering where his pace was that lap. Despite being in traffic, despite battling, oh, as everyone checks up in that pack in the battle for P5, or P6, sorry. Midnight's gone wide, now here comes Benzo.
Yeah, Benzo's going to get the run on him into turn 4. I think if Nicky was a little bit more patient watching this battle, he could have got both of them into turn 4. He took a really odd line into turn 2, which kind of compromised his run down to turn 3 and 4. But Benzo's going to get the line, he's going to squeeze the Alfa Romeo. They're going to make contact.
Oh, there's contact! On Jim's round! On Midnight's round, sorry. Oh, and everyone has to take avoiding action as he tries to get off the track as fast as possible. There is incidents everywhere. Zoso's round in an unrelated one and almost collides with Toby. Good lord.
The dominoes are falling.
And meanwhile at the front, that pack has broken. Top 5 are gone from the rest of the field.
Yeah, these hard tire runners have stuck right with them. It's going to be great for their race. You got to stay with them and use this DRS and, and these two are going to keep battling, and it's not going to work out well for them towards the end of the race.
Here comes Toast again. Up the inside into turn 1. Decides better of it. We'll wait until 4 potentially for the move, or might just sit in the toe. We'll never know what their ideas are. As Nicky G's got the move done on Benzo into turn 1. Oh, but Benzo fought it. Now JT, a little bit aggressively. A little bit aggressive.
Move down too.
You can see JT's got the straight line advantage, just able to pull away from Benzo. And that's a great job from them. Aston Martin.
Raven dives from so far back and just collects the I think there's the Merc.
And Ghost Rider's out as well. That is another safety car. And I'd be worried if I was a car approaching that final corner. So you have to avoid an absolute minefield down there.
Yeah, that was
oh, Dudley's stuck. Dudley's beached the car in P18. He's dropped it.
Someone give him a tap.
Please, he's ghosted. You can't. Oh, the poor man is stuck. You can hear the car revving. And he's been DSQ'd. He can't move. And that is a horrible way to end his race.
I got the clip.
You got the clip? Perfect.
King Mage and was so late on the brakes and just collected Kobach.
In come the leaders.
Kobach. Yeah.
In comes Nicky G as well. JT stays out.
The Assens are going to have to double stack.
No, JT stays out. JT goes one more. Nathan boxes with them. Mark Mage and John double stack the Red Bulls behind them. Tolby follows them in. Zoso stays out. Cobb K comes in. The second. Midnight stays out this time. An 11-lap-old mediums just staying out on track. That is wild. A Marmo boxes. Terms should box. Oh no, he's on 2-lap-old softs. He'll stay out.
Yeah. Dutch Raven beached himself on the curb.
Yes. And so technically has now finished P18. Because of that.
He spun someone that ended up DNFing someone else and then disqualified himself on the grass. Not as
Not
fine
necessarily what they were looking for from this weekend, but you know. Williams will obviously be looking at that and trying to see if they can argue that that's not a penalty. I can't wait to see that argument in chat.
Yeah,
Pogs, do your best. But what you can say is, great ace, one of the rookies for this season, the last, I believe, draft pick. I'm going to double check this. I've got my sheet up here. The last official draft pick for the tier is currently leading the first race of the season.
yeah, I just feel bad for Ghost Rider. He was not even in the incident.
Yeah.
He just collected.
Bouncy and Toast, by the way,
us-
have come out P6, 7. And Bouncy has Benzo right in front of him, and he's one of his teammates. That's very, very useful, because he can just allow him to go through, and then have Benzo hold up Toast.
Yeah, that's a great spot for them to come out. The two
Ahead
them
of
might
Zoso as
just-
well.
If there isn't another safety car, which is a big if,
That's a very big if.
but if there isn't, they're in a crazy good spot to win, and Nikki G's right back in this race too.
Cobb K boxing again off those hard tyres. You know what? I'm going to have a look. How many pit stops has everyone had so far? So, JT's had the one. Bouncy and Toast have had the one. Zosa's had 2 already. Omamo in P15 has had 3 pit stops. Has gone hard, medium, hard, medium. Interesting. Well, Omamo is also the second last draft pick for this season. It was drafted by the Haas TP. And it'll be interesting to see if he'll find a way back through the field. He's on fresh set of mediums now, which is good. But, you know, it's a bit of a task to overcome. As we will be doing one more lap, thanks to Cobb still being in Sector 2. As the rest of the field are starting Sector 3. That's just a factual statement. There's nothing funny about that. I don't know why you're laughing.
Nah, it's because it's just like he's like
He's
the
there.
only one
Yeah.
back there.
You know what, let's get it on board with him. Let's see how Cobb
I
K
just
is
feel
driving.
bad for him.
Yeah, I do too. Not a driver that many people... he's just had a very awkward weekend already. The weird incident in qualifying in which he potentially took out Dutch Raven in the first place, and now Dutch Raven is out of the race for beating his car, and Cobb K has just decided to stop on track.
Yeah,
That's a thing that happened. Okay.
just making sure his brake was working.
I mean,
guess.
yeah. Maybe he's just trying to heat the softs up.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dutch Raven got his got his revenge in the race.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just kind of baffled at why he just stopped.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out any plausible reason why he just stopped at the final corner. Maybe you got scared by something.
Would he have? Yeah,
No,
maybe he
no,
had
we've
Delta,
been a lap under the safety car.
That's
been
the only
2.
reasonable explanation for it.
You got a Phantom Delta? Potentially. Well, to be fair, the game breaks enough. I could imagine a Phantom Delta existing.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't get in the lobby for 30 minutes.
Exactly. Like, you missed entirety of qualifying. Except for this man's lap. Great Ace, who is looking quite promising at the front of the field. Has Jake behind him. Has Jim behind them. The veteran Alfa Romeo driver. The TP for Alfa Romeo. Technically the last overall pick, despite being the first overall pick. It's fun how retentions work, eh? And we'll see if he'll be able to do anything on some very old medium tyres that are definitely past their halfway life. It'll be interesting if they will stick with it. But now here comes Great Ace. How will they restart? Doing the weave strategy of Bouncy. And we're waiting for them to go, and they've gone. Safety car is in, and they have broke with Jake.
People are going really early today.
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting long. They're going real slow. Here comes JT, meanwhile, up the inside into turn 1. Has already got the move done on Jim. And that will be him up to P3. And now, all of a sudden, Aston Martin are looking very threatening at the front of the field. Bouncy is past Benzo. Benzo's done a great job letting him through at 3 to defend into 4. And that's going to keep Toast another lap behind. Great job from them. Meanwhile, Zoso P8, Midnight 9th. Nicky's up to P10, but has... Also, Midnight has a penalty. I think that's a 5 second for something. 3 seconds. Corner cut. Oh, Zoso! Zoso's lost it. Heading up the hill. This one was was a legit mistake. It wasn't a spin. He wasn't spun by anyone. He just lost it. Heading up the hill.
Bouncy made another move. Was a bit of a dive, but it worked out brilliant. Just heading into the infield. And as I said, Benzo's doing Bouncy a huge favor here. The further Bouncy can get from Toast, it's just going to help him out more throughout the race.
And it's also bringing him back onto the pack of JT as well, which is very, very crucial for the front of the race battle. Meanwhile, Nicky has now got past Midnight. That's P8 for Nicky G. The pole sitter is making moves here on those hard tyres and is going to catch the back of Toast within the lap, I would expect, as long as Toast doesn't make any moves anytime soon, but has the run now. Potentially on Benzo, but Benzo's looking for a move himself. Going to the inside at turn 4, potentially as Jake Laser takes the lead of the race from Great Ace. Great job from him to still be at the front of the field with those old hard tyres. Here comes JT! Oh, thought about it into turn 5. You don't want to go up the inside there. Maybe into 6 though. Oh, goes up the inside. Great Ace is sliding through the corner. There's contact galore, but it's all wheel-to-wheel racing, and it will be JT up to P2 as Great Ace avoids any contact. Great move from JT, and look at the opportunistic move from Bouncy. Round the outside, as there's a yellow flag for terms. He's spun it at the exit of turn 11, and he's down and out of the points now.
Yeah, Toast finally able to get back past Benzo, who is turning defense into offense. But
Bouncy's up to P2. Bouncy got JT. At the exit of the final corner, he's already got him. Bouncy's on a run right now.
Yeah, those tires are just so much better than everyone else's, and he is just using them to perfection. He had, what, 5 overtakes just in that one lap?
Now,
set him up for a win.
DRS enabled in this one. If you're wondering, by the way, where Tolby is at the very back of the field, 18 seconds back from Zoso. Reason being, he pit right as the safety car went in, had a penalty, also not a penalty, had a damaged front wing, I potentially believe, off the restart. As meanwhile, up the inside comes Bouncy, and those fresh hards are working wonderfully. JT will follow around the outside. Can they get the move done on Jake Laser now? They can, up to P2 JT. Great opportunistic move from them, and they will carry themselves up and after Bouncy now as we head towards the latter stages of the race. Zoso has spun it again. Same corner.
3rd or 4th time he spun there. It's a tricky corner.
Oh, yes, it is. B-Slice, by the way, under pressure from Nicky G now. As Midnight, is battling Nathan. That was almost damage, almost death from all 2 of them. Mock Mage now looking for up the inside. He's got the move done on 1. Will try and go sneaking up the inside again. 3 wide momentarily down the main straight. Nicky G. Oh, not Nicky G. Nathan and Mock Mage going wheel to wheel through the entirety of the first sector. And Mock Mage gets the move done.
Bouncy.
Yeah, Bouncy.
I think Bouncy got him right back into turn 4.
Great job from him. Meanwhile, further down the order, edge of points, we're seeing John battling with Midnight now on fresher medium. Should be able to get past him, no problem. At the front of the field, though, Bouncy leads from JT, from Jake Laser, from Great Ace. Toast is now on the back of this pack, and it is a pack of 8, and it is growing ever more as, Toast wanted to go around the outside there. Couldn't do it. Great Ace, great defensive parking of the car there in the middle of the circuit. Toast couldn't go either side, and now Toast has to wait for the main straight once again.
Yeah, Bouncy dropped a 2nd on Drip in that lap. And that's huge. That's going to put him just clear of any carnage and traffic that the DRS could bring into it. Jake the Laser is going to get a move done on JT as I'm talking about that. Perfect timing, and so it's going to go down the inside of Great Ace. Everything's just happening. Yeah, no, I think Toast has got to get these moves done quick to get back into this race with Bouncy.
Meanwhile, Jim, I just want to point out it's a miracle that is his 18-lap-old medium tyres, and he's still in P6 currently, ahead of Nicky G. Is somehow the fastest guy on track, is no longer the fastest guy on track, and is stuck behind an absolute roadblock of an Alfa Romeo. What a job from him so far to keep that car even remotely competitive. Nicky G all over the rear on those fresh hards will wait and bide his time. Doesn't want to send it too early as there is a battle for P2 right now. Jake Glazer is stacking the field up behind him.
Yeah. Another thing with Jim is he's on the worst tires out of the top 8 and has the most battery.
Meanwhile, yellow flag, that is 4. Terms is in the wall. No broken front wing by the looks of it. End plates seem to be there. But there is definitely damage to that front right end plate, and that will be no safety car as it's not anything other than...
I think we're going to have 3 wide here down the main straight.
Oh, one's just completely off the track in Toast. But Toast now forced to go around the outside of JT. JT forcing him deep into the corner. And they're battling back and forth. Now Toast has been shoved out wide. Jake Lazer's going to have DRS. Oh my god, this is a camera angle. What is this? Yeah. Jake's going to get up the inside. JT's just sent it off the track around the outside. He's dropped back to P4 now. He's battling Toast up the uphill.
Yeah. Looking back from Jake's point camera and just seeing like
the
6
chaos.
or 8 cars right there is crazy.
This is the view, by the way, from the rear wing of Jake Glazer currently. He is in the trolley train. If anyone is familiar with that, he has 40. How many cars is that? Is that 7, 8?
That's all the way down to
it's P10.
Cars, it's 8 cars.
All within a second of each other, or within half a second of each other, let alone a second. Oh, yeah, this is going to be
get passed on this main straight, and he's going to be able to pass him right back into turn 4. That's just the most amazing thing about Brazil, is that there's always going to be battles.
Here comes Toast. Up the inside.
Spawn into the pit lane.
That's not good. At least he didn't. He's still alive. He will now box from P4. Those tyres definitely going off a cliff. Meanwhile, Toast has not had the best run through the S and is out of ERS. DRS enabled. I don't think Jake's going to have anything left to defend or to attack though.
With Nicky behind him.
Nicky's gone up the inside, forcing him round the outside. And has got the move done as Jake... Oh, Jake's just gone off the track and just got a time penalty for it. Meanwhile, Jim is still out there on 20-lap-old mediums in P5
He's
now.
Go to softs at this point.
He honestly could. If he's got that good time management.
Softs. Yeah.
Let's see how JT does. JT in P14 just came out ahead of Terms.
Flying.
Oh my lord. Meanwhile, Bouncy, maybe the most comfortable race of his life, whilst all the carnage is happening behind him, is leading by 5 seconds to the next closest car and potentially the only guy who has the pace to stop him today. That is Toast, the man who started alongside him. And the other guy who was in that top 3, it's now P3, Nicky G.
Yeah. These two have to work together to have any chance of catching back up to Bouncy.
In comes Jake Glazer.
Yep, and use the DRS. Jim is still staying out.
And McMage has just made the move up to P5. Gets the move done on Great Ace. Great job from him. Getting past him. Meanwhile, Benzo under pressure now from Nathan, who's on 11 lap old fresher hards. Now the run down to turn 4. Will he get the move done? Yes, I think he will. He's ahead of the braking point and will just sweep ahead through the corner. Great job there. Great clean racing from the two of them as well. Very little shenanigans involved. But the front of the field now, Nicky G is so much faster than everyone else and is held up behind Toast, arguably.
Yep, and Toast is catching Bouncy in clear air. And Jim is actually just has great pace.
He's ridiculous.
Absolutely no reason. He's keeping up with these guys.
21 laps. He's had them since the start of the race. Literally hasn't pit.
That is absurd. He only lost a 10th of this lap. Yeah,
he's under pressure.
Yeah, I think he's going to get this move done. And same with Mock Mage. I think,
yeah, he pulls to the inside. He's going in. Jim's in the pit. And meanwhile, Nicky G is already ahead of Toast comfortably. Nearly 4 tenths ahead into the braking zone. That was a rapid move from him. He is now up to P2. And I would not be surprised if he is to pull away from Toast, because Toast is all over the road. JT, fastest lap of the race, 110.7. Banger of a lap time, but he's so far back from the leaders.
Yeah.
Let's have
Nicky's making up a lot of time on Bouncy. I think this is going to be close at the end of the race.
Yeah, it is a 21-second gap, by the way, between JT and Bouncy. Just so you're aware of the gap that JT is going to have to pull. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the race. We'll check it every few laps. But meanwhile, the battle's across the field. There is a battle at the edge of the points currently. A Marmo and Cobb K. Cobb K, you'd have to assume, needs to pit again on those soft 10-lap old. As there's a yellow flag for... Yep, so. He's struggling to get that car facing the right way, but it has done eventually.
Look at Nicky. He's made up almost 0.6 to Bouncy on this lap alone.
From 5.5 to 4.9.
Yeah, and he's charging up his battery too. He didn't use a lot. He used a bit there on the straight, but Bouncy's got to be able to charge his battery up so he has the fence when he needs it. Also, Bouncy had a big moment out of turn 2.
Yeah.
He just lost a bunch of time. Only 4.3 now. It's over a second and a half, just about in a lap.
Meanwhile, Great Ace, maybe the highest running driver who still needs to pit. Benzo, meanwhile, was actually looking at a move on Nathan then, which would have been ridiculous. He's on 11-lap older tyres and just still comfortably sitting with him. Are the hards really that good around here?
Really good around here. They just don't ever like fall off a lot.
Is it getting darker? It's
Maybe
cloudy.
That's why they have a pit. It definitely is dark.
Oh, Bouncy 3 second. Bouncy gets a 3 second for
I think-
waterable warnings.
I think that's the race.
Potentially, but we still could see Toast make a miraculous comeback. He's still within the DRS, I want to point out, of of Nicky G ahead. So it's not like he's not going to be chasing him down the entire way.
It's getting dark.
I am waiting for the first few drops of rain. I don't have particles on, which is unfortunate. I will turn those on as soon as the pit stops start coming. Actually, you know what? I'll do it now. Nothing is happening.
I can see it. Yeah.
Where is it?
Bouncy
Graphics?
dumped all of his battery on the main straight, and then had a moment out of turn 1, which just lost him all that advantage he had. So I think this is going to be tight.
Yeah, that's a
with Nicky
second.
and Toast.
Nicky gained a second.
Nicky's fast, but Toast is just staying with him, and with the DRS, he's charging up more battery behind him. And it could be tight at the end of the race, but Nicky's looking really quick.
Meanwhile, we were saying Gamamo was the threat to Kelp K. No, it was JT, who's already up to P9 now. A quick update on the time between them. It is now 15 seconds between him and the leader. He's gained 5 seconds in 2 laps. I don't know. I don't know. He's got 5 cars to overtake before he's even in that leading battle.
And he's not gonna have that same delta because the hards are not gonna fall off the way those softs are. But JT does look like
Sosa retires in the pits. In the pits. Jesus.
I almost got excited.
And that almost just caused a safety car. Let's keep the gaps open. We've got the gaps to the leader now. Toast is actually all over the back end of Nicky G, coming through turn 3. He's only 4 tenths behind. And the rain is falling.
Yeah.
No? Is it?
Is it?
No, it's not. It looked like it was.
It did look like it. I think it's just the road. But Benzo is actually going for a move on Nathan right now.
Oh, no, he keeps sitting behind him. Here's the thing.
Benzo just did
I think there is rain. I think there's rain scheduled here. And currently the hard runners are sticking it out.
And Gwenfro did say that Toby said very late rain. We do have a Kravitz in chat.
Thank you, Toby.
But,
well, whoever said that Toby said.
Toby does. 5 minutes in rain.
5 minutes till rain. I think it's imminent. Honestly, looking at the track right now, Midnight and Cobb have boxed. They're not predicting for it.
JT just made another move on John. He is actually.
He's in the pack. He's caught the pack.
Right P6.
Now he's got Benzo in his sights. Gets the better exit. Up the inside, potentially.
Yeah, Benzo's going to let
Yeah,
him
Benzo
through.
lets him through. Benzo's not fighting him. This is ridiculous, JT.
I mean, if Benzo still has good pace. He's not even a second slower than his personal best on 26-lap old tires.
Meanwhile, Amamo has boxed. Amamo's saying no rain. He's risking it for an early pit stop. It's a yellow flag. That's for Tolby, who spun it. What?
Made contact. Nicky G almost spun. He saved it, but Toast went for the move, got the move done, which lost him a bunch of time to Bouncy, but that was almost carnage for both of them.
Well, Toast is now up to P2. That's a great job for him. Meanwhile, Mark Major is just quietly sat in P4 right now and is having a very, very solid race in the process. JT has now got Nathan up the inside into turn 7.
That was tight.
Oh, but he's lost it a bit.
Yeah, just drifted style points.
He's just ripping that car through the corners. He's not taking a single moment to breathe. Basically no ERS to work with, but neither does anyone. Now he's got Great Ace ahead, who's on 26 lap old hard tyres.
Yeah, he can just brake so much later.
The acceleration buff as well. He's just going to sit behind him now in the tow on the way up the straight. DRS enabled from here on. And I do not expect Great Ace to put any fight up. Goes defensive. And it doesn't matter. JT's already through into P5. JT has recovered every bloody position he lost.
He's in clear air.
In clear air now.
And the colder this track gets,
the better his tyres get.
Tires are, yeah, the better his tires are going to get. And if it starts raining, his tires are the best tires on the grid. Besides for those who are fresher softs.
Yeah. Speaking of, one driver in the points currently on fresher softs, and that is Jim Just Raged, who chose to make the call. He said, I can't take these tyres anymore. I just can't. And had to pit. He is on 16.5 seconds back from the leader. And meanwhile, Toast has actually lost a good 7 tenths as soon as he overtook Nicky. I think Nicky's lost the pace here. And I don't think he can get past him, because now Mark Major's almost caught them.
These two are battling. Yeah, they're battling hard and it's costing them. They need to just work together and let him be smarter with the moves.
The rain has hit.
Rain. I hope it starts pouring.
I think it might, you know. Rain has officially hit. Who will be the first to box for intermediate tyres? That is the real question. JT stays out. Ace stays out. It's a bit early to go straight in. We're looking to see puddles form on the track. That's the traditional crossover point. As Great Ace, meanwhile, is now under pressure and overtaken by Nathan. No! Nathan parked it on the apex.
Yeah, it's Great Ace just
drove straight into the back of him, and now Nathan has to turn that car around quickly, otherwise he'll get a warning for driving backwards and maybe disqualified. He's all over the road trying to get that car back on track. Meanwhile, behind him, here's Cobb K on fresh softs in the wet. As in comes Midnight. Midnight's boxing early, and he's got inters on. Midnight's our litmus test. Midnight's gone for the risk as a man gets into bed.
That is so... Oh yeah, it's my roommate.
But no one is sleeping on this race. It's amazing. Tolby stays out.
So early on the enters.
Bouncy boxes. Bouncy's gone for it. Toast goes in. Nicky stays out. Bouncy gets a 5 second for speeding. Mark boxes. Only Nicky G has stayed out. JT stays out. Great Ace is in. John stays out. Jim is fighting him for position, so of course he stays out. He's going for the move from the outside.
It doesn't look anywhere wet enough.
I trust the drivers. The DRS is still enabled, and therefore, it should still be dry conditions. As soon as DRS is disabled, that's the point where the crossover is complete and we're on inters only. But right now, there are drivers that have stuck it out that might actually end up winning this race, and that is Nicky G and JT, who are 1 and 2 for Aston Martin. And Nicky is struggling.
JT is not.
Right, the gap between the leader and Bouncy is 15.3. Notably, Jesus, JT is all over the road.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little slippy.
It's even right now. They are not losing or gaining time. At all.
I don't think it's worth the pit stop. I think...
No, it's a lap early.
I think it was a lap early. JT's struggling, but...
Bouncy's gaining now.
Because of the wet.
Bouncy's getting in the corners, but he's not getting enough. Now he's stuck behind Jake Laser, who hasn't boxed.
I think it's getting close to inters.
Both Astons stay out. What about the other front three? Jim stays out. John stays out. Laser stays out. Here comes Bouncy. Round. Oh, no. Goes to the inside. Bouncy goes to the racing line. It's not going to matter. Through goes Bouncy into P5. Oh, but he's all over the exit at 3. Laser back through. And we'll have DRS now. Bouncy going to try and send it up the inside. You got to be careful. You're still on the wrong tyre at this point of the race.
Yeah, I think it's just the crossover. I think we're just there on the crossover.
He is gaining huge amounts of time to the leader, I want to point out, as is Toast.
Yeah.
But the issue is, it's not enough. No, they're losing time.
Yeah. I think this is the last lap. This is the lap where you have to decide if you're going to box or not. But Nicky's got a lot of battery.
I think Nicky's got to stay out here.
I think he does.
I don't think boxing is not going to be an option at this point.
The rain is picking up, though, I think.
It's picking up, but it's not enough. It's not the point
JT
yet.
could box. Yeah, no. I don't. It's just.
It's not there.
It's close. Yeah, no. It's
like,
a tough
Bouncy's
decision.
lost DRS to Jake.
Yeah, JT was 5 seconds slower that lap, so it's getting there.
Oh yeah, we are definitely in that crossover period, but it's not wet enough for wets, and it is very, very tricky conditions for softs and dries.
You could start seeing it on the track when it rains, though. It's gonna be tight. That's a big gamble if they stayed out. You can start seeing it on the track. There's more on the halo. It's getting wet, and Bouncy, I think, is gonna start. Those inners are gonna cool back down, and it's gonna get back into his race. But he's got a 5-second time penalty. Toast race.
He has 8.
Really, if it keeps raining like this, yeah.
Bouncy has 8. He's got the 3-second as well for track limits. Meanwhile, Laser is just catching John. He's actually thriving in this weather right now. He's gained about a second this lap. John does work and is catching him more and more every corner. I think he's got something in those mediums that John doesn't, and that's some grip.
Yeah, it's about 10 laps newer grip.
Oh, I see puddles. I'm starting to see puddles. Oh, and Jake's round! Jake Laser goes round! And now's the crossover point. Now is where you box. If you're on the mediums at this point or on the softs, you need to box. It's too late now to stay out.
Do you think you can stick it out and still have
John
that pace?
boxes.
I don't think the pace is... Yeah, Jim doesn't box. The Aston Martins don't box. I think the Aston Martins have to stay out now if they want to get this one too.
Yeah, it's the only way they get there. Jim is in that really weird no man's land where he'll be our litmus test whether or not it is truly into his weather or not. John has boxed. He was P4. Has given that up for a chance to still be competitive at the end. Will be coming up behind Great Ace now as well. Jake Laser, who spun earlier. So the guy he was battling with is the guy he's now behind. And also potentially some other cars.
Yeah, Penn's Bounty has 8, and then everyone else you see has a penalty has 3.
Amamo's also jumped John in the pit lane. Amamo is on soft tyres. It is 100% into his weather now. Look at the track. There is spray off of the tyres.
There's spray off the tyres, but it's going to be lap 34.
Nicky needs to pit now, I think. Nicky and JT. Otherwise, they are going to have to hope that they can last to the end.
Stay out. I think they're going to stay out. The dries still aren't. Once it gets to be about 11 seconds slower is around the crossover range, I think in real life.
Oh, Bouncy's making mistakes. Toast is catching.
They're only 7 seconds slower than their personal best. Let's see what Bouncy does.
JT gets a 3-second. That could be crucial at the end of the race. Meanwhile, in the pits, that is a McLaren. That's Tolby. He's gone inters.
These times are dead even.
Yellow flag. It's a crash. It's B Slice and Omamo.
Yep. The times they were dead even that lap with JT and Bouncy just about.
But that's Bouncy making a mistake, notably. Toast is all over his rear, by the way.
I think it's inters, but I think these top two are just so far ahead. There's no point in boxing.
And also, I think because the leaders pit so early for inters in Bouncy and Toast, they've shot their tyres. They've cooked them. There's nothing to them left anymore.
Yeah, and genuinely, I mean, if they do box, they still might be able to. It might be a little too late, but.
Oh, they won't come out ahead of them. They'll be P6.
No, they won't come out ahead, but they will have much better tires because those inters are 100% cooked.
Yeah.
But Nicky's just keeping it calm, upshifting, short shifting when he needs to. Like we said earlier about turn 1, 2, and 3, he's keeping his rears underneath him.
Meanwhile,
a lot of battery to be able to
yellow flag. Tolby has retired. DRS disabled.
DRS disabled.
There it is. Tolby, by the way, binned it. Oh my god! Toast gets a 3-second for having to avoid a tyre on the track. And no, I wasn't making that up. We saw it on stream. That, I feel like, needs to be removed. That's a bit unfair to Toast.
Toast and Bouncy are battling, and it's just going to lose them time.
Oh, but here comes Toast up the inside. He needs to get past. Bouncy is not the faster driver out of the two. Burning ERS gets ahead of the break point and has got position on track. He has that 3 second that honestly should be removed. That was a bit... But also now... Can he catch?
Put the work in in a lap and a half?
We'll see. How quick, really, are these intermediates? He is gaining 10th on 10th on 10th every single corner. He's gained 3 in just those 2. Now pushing on. Meanwhile, at the front of the grid, Nicky G and JT are crawling around the track. The gap is down to 11 between the leader and Nicky G.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a one-lap dash for Toast, I think. On those
I think
inters.
the big thing with Toast is if he can get within JT's... I think Nicky's won this race. I think it's too short of a track to be able to catch that up. But if Toast
he can get within 5.7
3-second time penalties...
Yeah. Well, he has to gain 4 seconds on this lap then. That's what he has to work with. And I think, honestly, those inters are much faster than that.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Through the first couple of corners, we are watching Toast battling it out on intermediate, on a completely intermediate track, going up against 2 soft runners and a hard runner. Can he close this unassailable gap? The gap is 8.7 at the end of the first sector. Into the breaking point now. He has Jim ahead of him. That is a runner who is in net P3 right now. Oh, and Toast is fighting the car all the way through.
He's got to get this move done into this corner.
Yeah, he needs to go up the inside here. Jim does not defend. Oh, he semi-defends. And Toast is getting held up. Now goes round the outside. Jim almost collides with him. Has done a great job to keep it safe. Now Bouncy's going to try and get through, but he's almost spun it on the exit of the corner. That's given Mockmage the position, potentially.
It's going to be huge.
Toast is now only 3 point... Okay, I've got to change it. It's 3.3 at the final corner. 3.13 seconds. The gap. 2.8, but across the line for what will be at this moment in time a 1-2. It's Aston Martin. Nicky G wins from pole. JT will finish P2. Toast P3. Jim will get P4 on track ahead of Mockmage. Then Bouncy. And Great Ace will settle in for P7 in that Ferrari. A great job for him. It's actually P6. He's got ahead of Bouncy. He got it. John gets P8.
I think they pit 2 laps too early.
3 laps, arguably. Cobb K will finish P9. Benzo just behind them, P10. Will round out the points. Points for Alpine there, but not the ones they were looking for. Nathan 11th. Amamo struggling as overtaken by Terms at the final corner. But Terms does have a penalty to serve. I think it's a 3 second. Amamo will be down in 13th on the track, however. And we'll get him afterwards for P12. And Jake Laser, 14th, Midnight in dead last P15. And that rounds out an absolutely insane Brazilian Grand Prix.
That was nuts.
That is nuts.
I hope my 2-2 race is not like that.
Me too. Right, if you want to go and ping our podium sitters, the 2 Aston Martins, and... I'm having a moment. Who actually got the podium here? JT got it. It's Jim. Get Jim.
Jim.
Yeah. Let's get Jim in here. So, pole to win, but not the most conventional method for Nicky. P5 to P2, also not in a conventional method for JT. And then 13 to 3rd in the most simple way possible from Jim. Wild. But yeah, those are your classifications. We're going to swap over now. Back to our faces as we get ready for the interview. And wow, what a race that was.
There we go. Alright, I think I just pinged them.
Yeah, they should be heading into the interview waiting room, and then when they're in, you can drag them up. We can get an interview with them.
That was...
Yeah, what do you even say?
I'm just trying to process, like, that race.
Yeah.
Just, like, I'm looking at it, and it's just like...
And none of it makes sense. Like, what happened?
Midnight finished last on track, but was in P5 at one point.
Nicky G went from P1 to P12 on the opening lap and ended up winning the race by 5 seconds. As if it was never happening. Like, what? Great race, might I point out. Great race from him. Was constantly in the points, getting into P6. Did a great job. I don't think we're actually getting interviews. So
I don't think we are either.
Either way, this has been a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. I wish I could have watched qualifying.
But... Qualifying was basically that, but less rain. So, either way,
that was a fantastic race. Yeah.
Either way, it is a pleasure to be working with you, and I can't wait to do it for the rest of the season, mate. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. I hope every race is like that, because commentating is so much fun when you're able to do it with a race like that, because you're always talking.
God, yeah, there's no moment of pause. My throat is shot, and I have a race to prepare for in Tier 3. So I'm going to leave it here. From myself, it is going to be a good night. For Dreams, it's going to be a good night. We'll see you next week for... What's the next race? I have also forgotten.
Weird.
Should be in the info.
Monaco.
Oh God.
I think we're gonna have another race like we just had today.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one this season. We'll see you for Monaco next time out in MRL Season 10. Thank you for watching. We'll see you then.
Yeah, see you.